The Stuart Betts iguana question? Mm.
It's going to be absolutely nothing to our listeners.
Clifford's not going to make the cut. Don't worry.
Okay. Hello and welcome to Everything's Fine Probably, the podcast that rummages through the week's news looking for the good bits like urban foxes and a bin behind a Greggs. I'm Jim, and joining me as always are our resident optimists Gemma, Shelley and Stuart. Each week we bring stories that remind us the world isn't entirely terrible, despite the news doing its best to suggest otherwise. Because if you've looked at the headlines recently, the news cycle has once again been doing its usual impression of the British rail network, an incoherent mess but still technically functioning. This week, counter-terror police have been questioning suspected Iranian spies operating in the UK, which sounds worrying until you remember the people they're spying on are British, and if they were hoping to gather intelligence by listening to us, they probably just got hours of people talking about football and moaning about their bins. Meanwhile, in economic news, the government's latest growth forecast suggests the economy will expand by about 1.1%.
Whoa! Good news.
Well, it's not exactly growth, is it? It's more the economy sort of standing up, stretching a bit and deciding to sit back down again. Anyway, we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. On a happier note, the UK Open Darts Tournament is happening in Minehead. I love watching the darts. I do. It's the only professional sport where the crowd look like a drunk cosplay convention with no specific theme. And the athletes look like they've just popped in for one quick pint and accidentally won 100 grand. Anyone else been watching the darts?
No.
Those are the kind of athletes that I feel comfortable around. I think, body conscious wise.
Kindred spirits.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds quite glamorous, whereas at Minehead, you say? Oh, okay.
Butlin's in Minehead, no less.
Wow,
yes.
That's weekend and a half, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Sort of book a chalet, can you? Get a VIP package?
It's sold out.
Okay.
I have preferred watching the darts to watching in the Six Nations right now.
What happened there?
Well, I don't know. It's like a resilience exercise than any sort of entertainment, isn't it? Tactically, I think it's a bit like watching someone trying to assemble IKEA furniture without the instructions. You're pretty sure all the pieces are there, but if that's the case, why does it creak and wobble and then fall to pieces the moment anyone puts a tiny bit of pressure on it? I mean, the team talk at half-time, what is it? It's just the coaches walking in and going, yeah, just be less rubbish. Yeah.
Am I right in thinking that's the first time Italy have beaten England?
Yes.
At Twickenham. So it's quite a memorable occasion then.
Yes.
Well done, Italy.
Well done, Italy. Absolutely.
For all our Italian listeners out there.
Do we have many?
At least 2 or 3.
2 or 3.
Yeah. So well done to them.
Well done to them. Yes. Good. Anyway, look, the whole point of this podcast, as we know, is to remind you the world is actually full of good news. Every week we find stories about kindness, invention, communities helping each other, and occasionally heroic animals doing something incredible. So we're going to be digging into the stories that prove humanity might be doing right, or at least doing slightly better than England's 8-man rugby tactics. Now, first off, I would like to ask the panel, and I think this is relevant actually given our respective ages. Do you feel like you're getting better with age, or are things just gradually falling off? You are the youngster amongst us.
That is true. I am the whippersnapper of the group. Not by an awful lot, I fear, but
no, but still.
Everything aches. Does that? I guess that means worse, right?
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask how old you are, Gemma?
43, and I had to stop and think about it.
Oh, you're actually the same age as me, so yeah.
So I'm not the whippersnapper at all.
Well, I think you are technically. You are still the youngest, I think, having been born as
what birthday?
6 days before the end of the year.
yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm going to be 44 next month, so.
Shelley, are you aging like a fine wine?
I'm aging like a bottle of Blossom Hill that had the lid left off of it, and it was left in the sun.
Behind the bins.
Yeah, it's definitely White Zinfandel.
One of my favourite vintages.
I feel absolutely fucked. I'm only 44. I mean, I'm going to be a pile of dust by the time I get into my 50s.
Oh, we're all going to be a pile of dust.
Everything hurts. I can't sleep. Everything hurts. My fingers ache. My knees ache. I feel depressed.
Right. What, Jim? I'm glad you. I'm glad you got this.
No, I had a bit of a thing this week, right? One of those times where I walked into the kitchen, I'm on a mission, full of purpose.
Oh yeah.
Opened the fridge, look around, nothing. Didn't have a clue why I was there. So closed the fridge, went back to the lounge, sat down, remembered what I wanted, went back, opened the fridge, completely forgot all over again.
Wow.
Right?
What is it you did?
At that point,
what did you want?
Well, that's the trouble, Stu. I can't remember now.
Wow.
It's sort of like being in a middle-aged state. That's a bit worrying, but then reassuringly, okay, I read this study. It's from researchers at Yale University that says that the idea that aging inevitably means decline is basically wrong. So they followed 11,000 people aged over 65 for 12 years. They tracked their physical health and their brain function. And about a third of them actually improved cognitively. So that means somewhere out there there's a 74-year-old getting mentally sharper every year. And that's not even the good bit. Around 28% of the people in the study actually improve physically as well. So people in their 70s and 80s are getting fitter. So that raises the very real possibility that none of us have reached our physical peak yet.
Are we in the peak of our life?
We're still going up, potentially, Stu. We haven't even reached it.
How are we getting cognitively stronger? Does it tell us about that?
Well, let me start with the reason that people think aging equals decline. It's because when you average everyone together, there is a downward trend. But if you look at individual people, loads of them are improving. So the problem's not aging, the problem is statistics. What is interesting about this is the study found that people who believe aging will be terrible actually have a worse memory, a slower walking speed, and worse health later on. So the trick to healthy aging is actually to think positively about getting older, Shelley. And I mean, I am trying, I really am. But last week I made the noise you make when standing up whilst I was already standing up. So.
Okay. From doing the noise?
Oh. That one.
And I guess you've got to work at this cognitively, though, haven't you? You've got to keep your brain active.
Well, I guess it doesn't hurt. But I mean, look, there's something in it. I'm physically fitter now in my 50s than I was certainly in my 30s.
But is that because you're looking after yourself better?
I'm doing more exercise.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But I drink a lot less, so I do more exercise.
Yeah. You've got to work at it. It's just...
You've got to do the right things, haven't you?
Yeah. It's not magic, is it?
It's not magic, Stu, no. But I certainly know people who think of themselves as old and act like they're old.
I think you can talk yourself into it. Yeah. I really do.
Yeah, I think so as well. Like, I know I'm feeling physically old, but I know mentally I'm still pretty immature. But also, if you're very stressed, that actually affects your concentration and that kind of brain fog you get, and it also affects your hormone levels as well. So some like women can think they're going through early menopause.
Let's move on. So Sunday was International Women's Day, that special day of the year when every corporation suddenly posts an inspirational quote about empowering women while simultaneously paying them less than their male colleagues. Over on LinkedIn, men were posting, "Shout out to the amazing woman in my life," followed by a picture of themselves. Clearly, I'm not the best placed person on this panel to talk about International Women's Day. So let's bring Shelley in on this, shall we?
Shelley, before you start, when's International Men's Day? Why do you need an International Women's Day?
There is an International Men's Day. I think it's actually on the same day as International Toilet Day.
It's November the 19th.
Yeah, but I think it is...
Because that's the question everyone asks on social media. You get all these blokes coming on and they say, oh yeah, when's International Men's Day? And that's really satisfying just to go back and put November the 19th.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure, I am pretty certain International Toilet Day is on the same day. Yeah, I think it is. You might need to clarify that, but
All right, we'll clarify.
We're doing it.
We're doing that now. Don't you worry, because that sounds like a good day.
yeah, but you know,
Is it the 19th of November?
World Toilet Day.
2026.
World Toilet Day.
it's World Toilet Day.
I
There
will
you go.
celebrate myself and the other men in the world while sitting on the toilet.
And that's one of the most loved places of men, isn't it? To retreat to the toilet.
That's a bit sexist.
Yeah. I'm sure me saying that's really going to impact on men's equality and their
I'm offended.
their place in the world.
I'm offended.
I'm offended. I think Gemma's offended for us.
International Women's Day was celebrated on Sunday, on the 8th of March, not to be mistaken with International Men's Day, which is in November 19th. Yes, Jim.
I have a question. When you say it was celebrated, how did you celebrate?
I haven't actually celebrated it completely yet. I was going to celebrate it by watching that Louis Theroux in the Manosphere thing that's coming out on Netflix.
That's on tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Shelley, did you celebrate by watching Love Actually with a nice box of chocolates?
I really, really don't want to watch Love Actually. I did watch something though that
it's a Christmas film.
Oh yeah.
It was International Women's Day on the 8th of March, and then it's also Women's History Month. So my little sort of homage to it was actually looking into the history of International Women's Day and how that has developed over the years. It was actually marked for the first time in 1911, and it was actually started in Germany by the leader of the Women's Office for Social Democratic Party, who was called Clara Zetkin. So she put forward the idea like 1 year before at an international women's conference. And then on March the 19th in 1911, more than 1 million women and men attended rallies across Austria, Denmark, Germany and Switzerland. It was international, but starting off just on a smaller scale in Europe. There was sort of like feminist kind of movements and rumblings starting to happen sort of, from the late 1700s before you got to that point. And I was reading into it, and I did see this in a drama as well. God, I've watched a lot of TV recently. First Lady, Abigail Smith Adams, she actually urged Congress to consider women's rights when they were clarifying all the new laws for the new America, basically. And then there was the women's suffrage movement actually started sort of around about the 1860s as well. And that took over 50 years for us to actually get the vote in the UK, though, because that wasn't until 1928. So that took quite a lot of battle. But it's then taken a lot longer for like International Women's Day to spread worldwide. It sort of started just getting picked up by like other countries at different points over the years, but it wasn't until 1977 that the UN it asked its like member states to mark the day for women's rights and international peace. So it did take ages for it to start getting on a bigger scale. It wasn't actually until 2008 that it really started to go mainstream. That's really slow progress for something that seems quite important. But I don't really see it as a bad thing. I actually quite admire that it just goes to show that men and women have sort of been like pushing forward that message like all that time, something that started so long ago, and they're just keeping it going and if it wasn't sort of women and men who were doing all of this work for gender equality, then they wouldn't be people pushing the boundaries. And because if you think like before this time, before suffrage, all of those things, we didn't have the right to vote, stand in parliament, we couldn't own a property, we couldn't have equal access to education, and it was incredibly unfair. So it was noticed quite a long time ago. And also, I mean, I hope you all agree as well, I think it's really beneficial to men and children and everybody if you lift women up and improve equality for them. It actually lifts everybody up with them, but it also takes away those pressures of the gender roles and actually the harm that causes to people's mental health. When we've looked at men's mental health quite a lot, and, you know, the toxic masculinity and all of that side of things. If you just have equality, you got any particular women or woman who really you think, yeah, they were a badass sort of thing?
Yeah, I quite liked Wonder Woman in the 70s.
I'm going to go for Anne Bonny. Pirate.
She was a pirate.
She's a pirate.
Tell us more.
So she's one of the most recognised pirates in the whole of history in general.
Wow.
And there weren't huge. There were some female pirates, but not huge amounts. Yeah.
What nationality was she?
I'm pretty sure she was Irish.
Irish, was she?
I've heard of her. Yeah, I'm sure I've seen a documentary about her.
It's like 1600, 1700, so not huge amounts is known about Anne Bonny.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, she's still known.
Yeah. Very much a man's world, I should imagine, back in the day.
I would have thought so. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she stole a ship.
Wow.
And captained that, and
one
of those pirate rampages.
I think I did hear that they actually had quite good gender equality on pirate ships.
Did they? Where do you think you might have heard that?
Maybe when I was watching the documentary about
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know how long Anne Bonny's pirate career was?
Oh, okay. 23 years. Shelley?
Yeah, I may be 30. I think she got 30. A good pension.
You want to have a go, Gemma?
28.
28.
You're all going for years?
Years, yeah.
Okay, it was 61 days.
Oh, that was quite short-lived.
So only slightly longer than Liz Truss's prime ministership.
Yeah.
But one has gone down in history as an icon, and the other's gone down in history as a fuckwit.
She's got a little podcast, hasn't she, where she's like sitting in her front lounge, like ranting against the deep state. I think we get more followers than her.
So Anne Bonny was captured, imprisoned.
Oh.
She was sentenced to be killed.
Oh.
But certainly claimed that she was pregnant. So her sentence was reduced to imprisonment, and that's about as much as I know, I'm afraid.
Well, don't be afraid. That's good knowledge.
Thanks.
Gemma, do you have a favourite woman in history?
Say Gemma was your pick.
No, Gemma,
of course,
because Gemma's my second favourite.
Likewise.
How do you feel about second best, Gemma?
Yeah, second best.
I'll take it. Silver. Who doesn't want silver? You just get a medal, mate.
Better than shameful bronze, isn't it? Yeah. Go on.
Florence Nightingale sprang to mind first of all, and I'm not sure if that's just because she was pretty awesome or whether she helped me get my best grade at GCSE. It's one of the two.
Oh,
Florence Nightingale helped you with your GCSE. That's a hell of a claim to fame, Gemma.
Well, everyone else
for that a while before.
everyone else doing history for GCSE was doing about World War II. Was doing about
World War Four.
It was definitely two.
Well, I think World War III finished yesterday, didn't it? Gordon's Trump. So it might be World War IV next.
Yeah. He ended that war, did he?
He said it's finished, pretty much.
Ninth war finished.
Yeah.
He's impressive.
It's really interesting, though, that Gemma, that you said Florence Nightingale, because the nurse in me didn't go for Florence Nightingale, but went for Mary Seacole. And what's really interesting about both of them is actually there was a lot of controversy between those two, and possibly some racism on the part of Florence Nightingale. Yeah, Mary Seacole she was a nurse, and she did end up going over to the Crimean War, but she wasn't allowed to actually work with the main nurses. And she met Florence Nightingale. And Florence Nightingale apparently wasn't unpleasant to her face, but she was behind her back. And there was like a letter where she was saying she actually thinks that the reason they wouldn't let her in was because of racism. So that's quite interesting.
I was not taught that in GCSE history.
You wouldn't have been taught that. See, now this is where Black History Month comes in handy. But yeah, Mary Seacole was kind of like removed from the history of the Crimean War at first. And then she wasn't sort of all the hard work she did, which she actually did with a lot of her own money, because like Florence Nightingale was like really famous for hospital reform and how she changed everything, like hygiene standards and a lot of the way and nursing practice. But Mary Secoult actually was someone who did a lot of her own kind of medicine, and she actually provided a lot of good nutrition and herbalism and lots of. She actually went out onto the battlefields with food, drink, and bandages and helped people directly on there. And she was really good at helping people with cholera and things as well. So they both did amazing work. There was some
But
some
one was racist and the other one.
issues. Florence Nightingale was a white woman in Victorian times. I wouldn't be surprised that she was a bit
course
racist.
she was racist. Yes, absolutely.
I feel quite lowbrow because I picked Wonder Woman. You've gone.
At least you didn't pick racist.
Yes. Yes. Thanks, Gemma. Exactly.
But
Well,
not
I
many
think that's a
people
good
know
place.
that, Mo.
I think that's a good place to move on.
At least you didn't pick
I'm gonna let Gemma redeem herself now.
It's not Gemma's fault.
So
not
look-
many people know that.
I hear we're all racist now, Gemma.
Okay,
I wish I'd
settle
learned
down.
about World War IV instead.
World War Four. That's tomorrow.
Yeah, Trump will be starting that one shortly.
It's beautiful, beautiful war.
When everybody sends in their stories, sometimes they give you a bit of detail, sometimes they don't. I don't know much about what Gemma's going to talk about now. Only it's something to do with chocolate honey. I think I saw a film with her in. Anyway, carry on.
Jim, this is International Women's Day.
Gemma, chocolate honey, please.
Chocolate honey.
Stop saying chocolate honey.
Why? Does it
Because,
make you feel
well, I don't know. It sounds. I don't know what that even means.
Researchers have discovered a way to turn leftover cocoa bean husks into delicious, nutrient-packed honey. And the secret ingredient that makes it all work is the honey itself. Yes, honey plus cocoa waste plus ultrasonic waves equals a brand new superfood. So here's the deal. Cocoa beans are full of plant nutrients, polyphenols, theobromine, and even a bit of caffeine. But most of the cocoa plant never makes it into chocolate. The husks, which are usually discarded, actually contain similar levels of these good-for-you compounds. Enter the team from the State University of Campinas in Sao Paulo. They wanted to see if they could extract those nutrients in a clean, sustainable way. No harsh chemicals, no industrial solvents, just green chemistry. And their solvent of choice? Honey. Honestly, iconic. Who doesn't like a bit of honey?
No, that's good. Yeah, everyone likes a bit of honey.
But that's good for, like, reducing waste.
Exactly. They place cocoa husks into vats of native Brazilian honey and use ultrasonic waves, basically sound vibrations, to break down the plant material. The sound waves help release all those valuable nutrients and kill off microbes in the honey, reducing the need for pasteurization. So the process is both natural and efficient. The researchers tested honey from 5 species of native stingless bees because their honey is naturally more liquid and easier to work with, and eventually landed on one called Mandaguri bee. Obviously,
Is that the correct pronunciation?
I'm sure that is the correct pronunciation.
No, great, thank you.
Yeah.
I never knew you were supposed to say it like that.
You have to sing it.
Mandaguri.
Mandaguri.
But they say any local species could work, meaning cocoa farmers could create this product right where they grow. And the result? Flavorful honey infused with cocoa nutrients. Think chocolate-kissed honey that's not only delicious but also packed with bioactive compounds that could be useful in nutrition, cosmetics, and even high-end cuisine. One of the researchers put it perfectly. Sure, the flavour is the big draw, but the science behind it makes it even sweeter. And here's the best part, this isn't just a fun food experiment, it's a way to turn agricultural waste into something valuable. More income for small producers, less waste for the planet, and a brand new gourmet ingredient for the chefs to play with. Honey that's good for you, good for farmers, and good for the environment. That's the kind of innovation we love to see.
What, chocolate flavour honey? Come on.
I think if it's only going to be high-end cuisine, does that mean I can't just put it on my porridge?
Italian cuisine, Shelley, we can't afford it. Okay.
How much is it? Do we know? Do we know how much it is?
Well, how much is
Would you like me to Google
Mandaguri honey normally?
Mandaguri. I don't know. I didn't even know that was a thing. Never heard of it.
Well, there
You might have done if it was pronounced properly. It's
I prefer your pronunciation.
Thanks.
What is it? Mandagore?
I'm just finding out how much Mandagore honey is.
So we're just going to do a quick price check to see how much this is.
I mean, oh my.
Oh, I say. That's top end, isn't it?
Is it a bit dear?
This one that's come up is, well, have a guess.
Yeah, have a guess.
Of honey.
Yeah.
I don't know how many milliliters it is. I mean, it's a decent size one,
Yeah.
but it's not massive.
Big.
What do you reckon?
Sort of just normal honey size pot, isn't it?
What is it? Is it in is this in pounds?
Yeah, pounds.
Is it about £200?
That's not far off. It's £189.85.
Yeah.
So infused with a little bit of chocolate as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm probably just going to stick with my supermarket brand. Look, I think it sounds fabulous.
Yeah.
I'd love some chocolate honey.
I can imagine influencers who live in Dubai would eat that.
I think it would give you a good starting point.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Whether you'd like to invest your hard-earned money into.
I mean, it's likely to be best for about so yeah, no, that's good. That's good. I should be getting that on my shopping list.
Hello, I'm calling from Dubai. I've got my new honey chocolate here. I like money. I spread it on my toast, give it to my ladies, like that.
Is that was that just what accent is that meant to be?
That's an influencer.
Is that the accent of UAE? Is it?
That's an influencer from Dubai.
Okay.
An influencer from.
That's how they speak.
I feel I want to move things along if nobody objects. Let's stay with some nice wildlife stories.
So, a bit of local news now. Do we all know where Cly, is that right? Cly Marshes is?
Cly, yeah.
The birthplace of the Wildlife Trust. Norfolk is the oldest, and it's 100 years. Cly Marshes, a doctor 100 years ago looked at protecting the marshes in that area, and to mark 100 years since it was founded, the Norfolk Wildlife Trust has announced one of the largest, most ambitious projects in its history. The trust has purchased 336 acres of land at Wood Norton near its existing Foxley Wood Nature Reserve. So the cost is £4 million. But it isn't about buying a ready-made wilderness, it's about creating one. So currently the land is mostly arable fields, and this is a massive restoration project. Elliot Lynn from the Norfolk Wildlife Trust says it's not a secret that nature is in trouble. We've done our bit over the last 100 years to preserve and protect these amazing sites, and now what we need to do is to restore and recover. We need to have nature everywhere, and we need to connect people with nature, and that's what they're looking to do. So the new land, thanks to 3.8 million in funding from Natural England's nutrient mitigation scheme, won't just expand an existing reserve, it will create a vital connected mosaic of habitats. So we're going to have networks of ponds, grasslands, hedges, trees, and wetlands. Few people know Cly Marshes better than Assistant Warden Bernard Bishop. There's no one who knows more about Cly Marshes than Bernard Bishop. Do you know that?
I did not know that, Stu.
Every
day's a school day.
Not even Donald Trump. No,
really?
No one knows more about Cly Marshes than Bernard Bishop.
I don't think Donald would agree with.
So, did you know Bernard is part of a family dynasty?
I didn't know that either.
No, well, there you go. He followed in the footsteps of his father and great-grandfather, no less, who was the very first watcher on the reserve. He's told us how much Cly has changed in his lifetime. Bernard Bishop said, shall I do the accent?
No.
Okay. It's unbelievable. Nobody will ever see the changes I've seen in the 70 years I've been here, going from a few visitors to 130,000 people visiting the centre, and probably, this is his words, dare I say it, maybe the most famous nature reserve in the country. It's a bold statement, that, isn't it, Bernard? But that's what he believes. It's that foresight that is driving the purchase at Wood Norton today. The Trust obviously celebrating its past, but it's also securing its future and ensuring that the work of restoring and connecting nature can continue for generations. Wonderful.
You know what I heard that they're actually going to get Mrs. Tiggy Winkles to come down from the Lake District to cut the ribbon.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
You mentioned Donald.
Have we got any breaking news?
Well, it's a wonderful quote. I don't know if anyone saw this quote from the Donald earlier today. I think it's certainly earlier today, UK time. All of the people that died through the roadside bombs died and are right now walking around with no legs.
Oh,
Said the man with the nuclear codes. I mean, he has been proven for several years you can walk around with no brain. So
wow. Wow. What a week.
what a week. Let's talk about penguin pebbles, shall we, Gemma?
Oh, yes. Come on.
As if chocolate honey wasn't an obscure enough thing for me to try and work out what that story could be about. We've now got the alliterative puzzle that is penguin pebbles.
First of all, I know you guys love a little quiz.
Yes.
And we've already had a little quiz.
Yep.
So I'm going to keep it brief. There's only 3
Okay.
questions. So, do you know how many species of penguin there are?
Ooh.
3.
Okay.
No. 98. No. 2006. No. 4.
Okay.
4.
Final answer?
You're going for no.
No,
4.
I'm being stupid. I'm going to go for 125.
Okay, I'm going to go for 323.
Is there a prize?
No.
Absolutely not.
Chocolate honey.
A penguin.
Really expensive and stuff.
No, just a spoonful. What are you
I'm
going
gonna-
for, Shelley?
I'm going to go for 68.
Shelley wins. There are, in fact, only 18 species of penguin.
Teacher, isn't it? Muck around.
Sorry, I disrespected the quiz
You
and
did.
I got what I
No,
deserved.
you
A
did.
penguin biscuit is fine, if not a whole penguin.
There are more questions. You haven't won yet, Shelley.
Oh, okay.
Not yet. Do you know
Cocky.
which is the fastest species of penguin underwater?
I know that.
Underwater.
Emperor.
He seems very confident.
That's
He does
amazing.
seem confident, doesn't he?
It's
Oh
the
my God, is
torpedo
Shelley
penguin.
Googling?
She's not Googling it.
No, I'm not.
Look
I
at
thought
those
about it,
and
but I realised you could all see me. Like, could you see the ear and glow like on my phone?
I mean, that's the first rule of quiz, isn't it? You don't Google.
Not when you're wearing glasses and
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything's deflected off you.
There's pictures of penguins swimming in the sea really fast in your glasses. It's a bit of a
The
giveaway.
trouble is, the only type of penguin.
Anyway, I'm going for a guess because I didn't have time to Google it before you all noticed I was trying to Google it. So I think it's the torpedo penguin.
The emperor torpedo penguin.
Nice. You're all wrong. It's the Gentoo penguin.
That could be my next
Yeah.
guess.
I hadn't heard of it either, but it's incredibly cute. So every day's a school day.
Yeah.
An easier one because, like,
Oh, yeah. It's more,
easier.
isn't it?
What last question?
Yeah.
Can you guess how fast they can swim underwater as opposed to, in air? Swimming in air, that's a natural.
Do you want that in knots?
I would like it in miles per hour, please and thank
Okay.
you. Please do not go converting it into knots for
Um,
I am not that smart.
50, I think, about 50.
I'm going to go a bit slow. I'm going to go at 40.
I'm going to go even slower. I'm going to go 27.
Okay, so now my fun fact doesn't look quite so impressive because they travel up to speeds of 22 miles per hour.
Oh, not 50. Like
They're
that
not-
would be quite
not 50.
ridiculous, wouldn't it?
That's still
Like-
quick, though.
Take your Google away and you're no penguin expert,
That's
are you,
still-
Shelley?
That's still quick, though. You
No,
wouldn't.
you tell you, that's that is. I couldn't swim at 22 miles.
No, you
I
couldn't.
couldn't swim that fast, and I know damn well I couldn't run that fast either. Gentoo penguins are easy to spot by their bold markings and energetic behaviour. And Edinburgh Zoo has a large colony of Gentoo penguins. Over 100 live at Penguins Rock. They live along the coasts and islands of Antarctica and the sub-Antarctic. They prefer ice-free shorelines where they can build nests from stones. During breeding season, they build nests from small stones. Stealing stones from neighbours is common and often leads to noisy arguments. The practice known as pebbling sees male Gentoo penguins present rocks to their partners, a vital part of their courtship rituals.
Oh,
As if this wasn't cute enough already, for the 4th year in a row, children at Edinburgh's Children's Hospital charity, the ECHC, have been brightening things up, painting stones, arguably helping little Romeos of the penguin world win over their perfect mate. Could it be any cuter, I hear you ask? Well, yes.
Could it be any cuter, Gemma?
Yes, it could.
could it?
Yes. Very much so. As part of their annual programme, the first stone is traditionally placed in the enclosure by one of the young people. And the children regularly watch live streams of the Gento penguins in hospital and will be able to watch the penguins pick through their rocks in real time on the stream.
Oh.
And yeah, that. Oh.
Oh.
Roslyn Neely, ECHC CEO, said, "It's a truly wonderful." Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me? She didn't say that.
It's been
That'd be an interesting quote, wouldn't it?
He was like,
she said, "Jesus Christ,
What's wrong with me?
I was like, what are we doing with penguins?
Going, what the fuck am I doing with my life?
wasted my life."
Fucking around with these pebbles and penguins. What
Children.
fucking waste.
Bloody paint.
Ill children.
I
and
could have been a
penguins.
lumberjack.
Roslyn Neely, ECHC CEO, said, "It is truly
Fuck's sake, what have I done with my life? Sorry.
all those bloody letters, and I've got to say them again."
I'm just the CEO of this stupid hospital.
ECHC?
ECHC CEO.
No, what did she say about her life?
She's wasted it. We've established that for once.
Oh,
I mean, it's a lovely story. I wish I'd been able to say it properly.
Well, let's do another nature story. Stu,
Mm.
tell us about this sheepdog that draws pictures.
No, it's a sheepdog that's turned into a live drawing model.
Oh, I'm telling you.
that draws pictures.
Yeah, it doesn't draw pictures.
It doesn't draw pictures.
No, it's a live drawing
I've
model.
lost interest in this story.
Well, let me tell you about it, and I think, we'll get you back into this.
Okay.
I think you'll all agree, won't you? Most border collies, don't they? They spend their lives bracing against the wind on a hillside, obsessing over a flock of sheep, don't they? I think we can all agree. I think we can all agree with that, can't we?
Yeah, it's a hot debate,
but not for this border collie called Daisy.
I thought you were going to say Dave for a minute.
With Daisy, right? The rustic life, I just didn't click. Instead of come by and away to me, that's like one of those sort of farmers with the sheepdogs.
The shepherd.
Yeah, shepherd. That's right. Yeah. Come by, all that. Daisy wasn't interested in that at all. The 6-year-old rescue dog has traded the farm for the studio.
And now she draws pictures.
Well, no, her true calling as a professional life drawing model in Nottingham. So Daisy's owner, Fiona Morris, rescued her after being told the dog had absolutely no interest in sheep. Fiona described that. Yeah. Well, do you know what Fiona describes this as? A bit of a Pretty Woman story, but with a collie dog.
I don't like Pretty Woman.
I know, I heard that on the mix.
Was it a prostitute?
Well, this dog Daisy then, Richard Gere picked it up on the street one night.
Well, it's described like this: a diamond in the rough.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Who just needed the right stage. She didn't fancy the sheepdog life, Fiona says, but she makes a top model. Daisy is the star of Dog Life Drawing. That's a local class that's been running in Nottingham for about 2 years. Unlike traditional life drawing, the class is hosted by freelance artist Alex Barker, who points out that drawing dogs is inherently less intimidating than drawing humans. After all, Alex says, we've all seen a naked dog, so there's no stress when people walk in. Which is right, isn't it? If you went to a art class, had a big naked person sprawled out on the chaise longue, some people might get a little bit stressed or embarrassed by that. But dogs, they're always naked, so you're not going to be shocked, are you?
Yeah. Donald Duck always has a top and no trousers.
Anyway, these sessions are held at Blend in Snighton Market, and it isn't just about technical skills. Participants start with short exercises on structure and form, but the real draw is the atmosphere. There are usually 2 or 3 dogs per session, including Polly, a 9-year-old Havanese, who, unlike her sheepdog colleague, always has craved the spotlight. Her owner, Megan Camp, says Polly loves the fuss of having a room full of people staring at her. Alex Barker, on the other hand, says the event is much about mental health as it is about charcoal and paper. It's a wholesome alternative to the typical night out. The classes have become a sanctuary for students who miss their own pets back home and for locals looking to socialise without a drink in their hand. And more importantly, give the users some well-deserved treats and ear scratchers. Whether you leave with a masterpiece or 10 not-so-great sketches, the organisers say the result is the same. A room full of relaxed people and very happy dogs.
Way back in the introduction, I mentioned that the UK economy is growing by the breathtaking figure of 1.1%. So that's talking about growth in the same way doctors talk about a faint pulse as being technically alive. I have one last story for us today that suggests one part of the economy is actually doing really well, even though it will really annoy some people, and that is the green economy. So apparently the UK's green economy grew by over 10% last year, while the rest of the economy poodles along at just over 1%. So green industries basically lapping the rest of us like an Olympic runner overtaking someone carrying a sofa. The research comes from the Confederation of British Industry. They reckon the green economy is now generating about £83 billion per year. And for every pound it creates, it produces £1.89 in the wider economy. Now, we have talked about this before, so we've got to be clear and honest. Green investment's all about money, really, not about saving the planet. Clean energy is getting cheaper, energy security matters more. Businesses quite like the idea of not relying on oil prices that go completely mad every time some peace-seeking president bombs the Middle East. It's less about saving the planet and more about making a spreadsheet look better. But honestly, if the planet gets saved as a side effect of good accounting, I'm okay with that. As our regular listeners will know, that's not just the UK. Other research has shown that clean energy drove over a third of China's economic growth last year. The key takeaway from the report was this line from the CBI's economist. She said, "You can't have growth without green."
Absolutely. So when Trump's always saying that China just build all the windmills and it's a big scam, it's not, is it? I think they've got a 30-year plan, haven't they?
Yeah, you've got to remember
net
that
zero.
Trump literally said that people are walking around with no legs.
Yeah.
He's also quoted as saying, having said that your daughter has to be of legal age, she has to be like more than 6.
Oh.
Which is quite an eye-opening one as well. Anyway, that's all for this week.
What a show.
What a show. We've learned the brain can actually improve with age. Green economy is booming, and apparently optimism about the future is good for your health. Thanks to Gemma, Shelley and Stuart. If you've enjoyed the show, please subscribe, tell a friend, leave us a review, preferably a positive one, because negative feedback at our age really lingers in the joints. We'll be back next week with more good news, more questionable statistics, possibly an update on whether any of us have improved physically since the start of this episode. Until then, it's goodbye from us.